went to Washington State. You're coming from the East Coast. You're coming from a big city. You used to make comments about Pullman, Washington. You'd never been anywhere like Pullman. What were some of the things that you said, and how did the people take it?
Well, you know, I think in the beginning people were a little sensitive to it, but I always kind of felt that you needed to poke fun at yourself, and it was good. But we've talked in some of the other Q&As about not taking yourself too seriously in that. And so, you know, I started actually getting a lot of media coverage, and a lot of older joke books would pick up some of the one-liners that I would use. But one of the things that I used to say a lot was, Pullman's not the end of the world, but you can see it from there, you know. And then another one I use is I'd say Pullman is a place where elephants go to die, and then I would say, hey, you know, I'd be speaking somewhere else, and I said, I'm sure you guys are wondering what's going on politically in Pullman right now. Well, the city council met today, and they decided to add yellow to the traffic lights. And so I, you know, I had all kind of different jokes about Pullman or recruiting. I'd say, hey, we had a prospect in this week, and we had to drop breadcrumbs to get him from the chemistry building to the dorm, and so we had lots of fun.
Well, when I went out, George, I know I had to speak one time, and I spoke at Washtuckna. And when you go in, it says, entering Washtuckna, population 311. And I get there for the banquet, and I'm young. I'm 25, but still they think, you know, assistant, because you never said graduate assistant. Mm-hmm. You always would say assistant coach. Assistant coach at Washington State's going to be a speaker. And I remember going in, it says Washtuckna, population 300. I get there, and the place is really jammed. And I turned to the guy who's, you know, running the thing, and I said, how many people here? He said, about 250. And I got up, and, you know, being a wise guy from New Jersey, I remember saying, boy, I really appreciate this crowd. I heard there are 250 people here. I have one question. Where are the other 61? Boy, that upset everybody. That was one of the worst speeches. That was one of the worst receptions I ever had.
But here's the one reason, you know, I always thought it was good to poke fun at Washington State. This is a historic fact. There came a time when, in the history of the state, they had to decide where they were going to put the state prison and where they were going to put the state college.
That's right.
So the choices laid in the laps of the administrators in Walla Walla, Washington. Right. And so they go to Walla Walla and they say, okay, you guys can have the choice. You can either have the state prison or you can have the state university. And they took the state prison, and so Pullman got Washington State, and that's a true story.
That's right.
So that's how the state prison ended up in Walla Walla, and how Washington State ended up in Pullman. So there was a twisted sense of humor right from the very origin of it all.
But we used to get the greatest apples. Remember, guys would bring in cases of apples, and Apple Valley was, you know, you couldn't get better apples. So every place has its good and bad. And
you know, it's interesting. When I was there, Walla Walla was known more for their onions, and now it's a great wine area. There's some great wines come out of Walla Walla now. In fact, you look at the state now, and the state has become a great wine producing state. And back when I was there, you know, it was apples. In fact, the football trophy between Washington and Washington State was the Apple Cup.
Right.
Apple Cup.
Right.